Now, say my name.
The Rolling Bad Podcast.
You're goddamn right.
Welcome to the Rolling Bad Podcast, episode number 47. Coming to you from the desolate wastelands of Albuquerque, New Mexico. We're recording on June 9th, and I am your host, Elric Edge. And with me is...
Your host, Bill Costello, who's trying not to laugh because the iPad went dark.
Yeah.
So we apologize for the extra week delay, but I got pretty sick. I went on vacation, and when I came back, I got pretty sick, so we couldn't record last weekend.
Actually, we were burning our armies in the backyard.
I wasn't going to say it, but yeah.
Can't take any kind of change. We're out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, done.
So
yeah,
we're gonna make a Fortnite podcast. It seems to be what all the cool people are doing now. Boy, we got a content-heavy show in that there's a lot of content coming out.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about a whole lot of updates for AOS 2.0. Soul Wars.
Yes.
Fantastic starter box. Good Lord.
No, yeah, that is just... It's over the top, and it's push fit.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what kills me is it's push fit.
And we're back to the days of huge hardbound rule books.
Yeah.
So that's good.
18 pages? We're
Yeah.
going to lose half the audience.
Yeah. Well,
We lost Chad. So.
Yeah. Right. More than 4 pages. Yeah. And then what else we got? What else are we going to go over?
We're going to talk about that. We're going to announce a couple of contests.
Ooh.
We're going to talk about, man, this is a weekend of say goodbye to AOS 1.0 because you have Heat 3 going on right now.
Right.
You have that tournament going on in Sydney. You have the Triumph GT, which I really have to apologize to Martin Orlando. We were supposed to record last week, and we were going to throw a last-minute shout-out to the Triumph GT out there in New Jersey.
Ooh.
But it is going on, should be, as we speak, going on.
Yeah.
Well, they've probably wrapped up for the day. But that's going on today and tomorrow. Or through tomorrow. But yeah, we're going to talk about some of the different things that are going on that we're getting ready for. And we're going to talk a little bit about Warhammer Adventures. We're going to discuss some of that. But before we go on to New Dawn, which will probably be a big chunk.
Yeah.
I do want to throw a shout out to Mr. Tristan Gray, who is our newest Patreon sponsor. Thank you very much, sir. We really appreciate it.
Indeed.
And if you want to be a Patreon sponsor and get absolutely nothing cool yet, we are working on a rewards program. And we will talk a little bit about that later on in the show. But we're out there at patreon.com/rollingbadpodcast. So if you want to help support the show, and believe me, it has made a huge impact in just the 2 months that we've been doing it. It's really allowed us to do a bunch of stuff that you'll see the fruits of shortly, I hope.
Yeah.
I don't know. Other than that, I think that's all we talked about the contest, the giveaways we're going to have.
Yeah.
So we'll do that in the lore section. One of them's going to be kind of fun, and one of them's a little bit down the road. So
Sounds good.
all right, let's move on to New Dawn.
The Realm of the New Dawn.
Where we're going to talk about some things that are coming up in the AOS world and some new products from Games Workshop. It's actually a pretty product light month. If you look at the White Dwarf for this month, June, there's only one real announcement for new stuff, and that's kind of goes by the wayside pretty quick early in the month. So yeah.
What?
So yeah. So anyway, the first thing I want to cover real quick, and I did it in the intro, or I didn't do it in the intro, and I want to throw a quick shout out to the AOS calendar that is hosted over on the AOS Shorts website. The AOS calendar is a combined effort of Dan from AOS Shorts and Tyler Emerson from Scrubby and Wells podcast, and they're putting together a centralized calendar for all AOS events, and they're trying to make it worldwide to where everything goes in there. And there's a couple of different formats for it. They have a Google Calendar, and they have different ways of accessing it and entering information into it. And they're really trying to push to make it a resource for the whole community, for everyone to look at And not just to help you if you're going to run your own event to deconflict the dates, but just so you know what's going on around the world. And maybe you're going to be in a different state or a different country on a certain date. You can look in the calendar and go, oh, hey, there's a show in Sydney that day, and I'm going to be in Australia, so I think I'll go to that.
Yeah, it's also a great way just to find out there's events around you.
Yeah.
You know,
That's the big, yeah. If you're from one of those places where you don't think there's a lot going on, you might find out there's something in the next town over.
Yeah.
So it's a really good thing. I will have a link to the actual site in the show notes, but for right now, you can just go to aosshorts.com and click on the Age of Sigmar tournament calendar. And you'll see, and there's instructions there on how to access it and how to do all the good stuff. So
Cool.
it's a cool thing. So other than that, for New Dawn, like I said, I was looking through the White Dwarf, and really, there's only one new product, kind of. Well, there's two new products, but one of them's just kind of, whatever. So, and there's a couple of new Black Library books, but I guess we can move on then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty short segment. So let's go ahead and knock out the 40K stuff real quick.
Okay.
That way people can skip past it.
Sure.
Or something. Yeah, so Imperial Knights.
Yeah. That
Fantastic.
dropped today.
Oh, man.
Amazingly brilliant. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a bit of a misstep at the hobby store today.
I saw that.
Yeah.
That's a mortgage payment in a bag.
God, yeah, it was bad. Well, who knew they were going to redo Renegade, you know?
Yeah.
And the thing that makes it different from the old Renegade is the new Renegade. You know, obviously, I bet you the rules for the game itself, which the game that comes with it is not bad. It's pretty fun. But the two Titans that are in it are they're the cooler Titans. The original version just had the regular old Titans. This one has a Paladin, I think. Or not a Paladin, a Warden, and one of the other. I can't remember exactly which ones, but they will add nicely to my collection. So.
Yeah, it also comes with a sweet chunk of terrain, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Galvanic Magnavent or Magnaforge or something like that. So, yeah, it's another awesome piece.
Yeah, it makes me very sad that I was unable to. Because it's going to be a limited thing, I think.
And what I thought was really incredible was I went to the GW store to pick it up and was speaking to the manager, and I was glad I was there early because I grabbed one of the two on the shelves, and he said it's a good thing because that one is the only other one I have. All the others are direct orders. So
Ugh.
he got two spares.
Wow.
And he's a GW store. So
Jeez.
obviously those things were not made in droves.
Yeah, no, I could see why.
Mm-hmm. It's a big kit, and it's pricey, but you get what you pay. You're getting 2 nights, a piece of terrain, a game,
Yeah.
some background stuff, decal sheets, all the stuff. It's a gunga deal.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's about it for 40K.
The
Made an
nights.
announcement at, what is that, Game Expo? The GW was just at last weekend. Anyways, they announced Space Wolves and Orcs
Yes.
are the next 40K codexes, which makes me very, very happy.
Yeah.
That we finally got an announcement for Space Wolves.
You know,
I mean Orcs.
oh yeah, Space Wolves. Yeah,
Nobody cares about Space Wolves.
I'm so hoping they bring back Jaws of the World Wolf.
Yeah,
Because
that'd
if
be
they
great.
do, I flash, burn, quit everything.
Yeah.
So
It'd be nice to finally hear Chaos Space Marine players stop crying because they're going to get a good book.
Ooh.
Yeah, see what I did there?
Feel the burn. Feel the burn.
Original traders. Anyways, yeah, so I'm very excited about Orcs.
Yeah.
Very, very excited about Orcs.
I had this pang when I saw that announcement, and I'm like, what if they come out with a whole new range of models? And all the stuff that I bought over the years, and all the stuff I bought recently, like I'm looking at my Battle Force or Cult of Speed box,
Yeah,
is now invalidated.
they get the Dark Eldar treatment.
Exactly.
Like completely redo the line. I would be so okay with that.
I
Even with the
would.
massive Orc collection I have.
I would, but there would be a video on YouTube of me rage burning all my orcs.
That's only because you'd have to make room on all these shelves for the new
For the
shrink
new
wrap
orcs.
you're getting.
Oh, yeah.
So, all right, enough blabbing about 40K. Let's.
The GW podcast.
Yeah, well, yeah.
All right, so let's hit the really big thing in the room, and that is the new Soul Wars novel by Josh Reynolds is coming out.
Yep.
So, yeah, we're gonna have a book, a Black Library book from Josh Reynolds in the AOS universe. So we got that going for us.
AOS 2.0 The starter box finally got revealed.
Wow.
Soul Wars. It is got to be the best starter box for any system they've done
Ever?
so far. Yeah,
I
it's
can't think of one.
it is unbelievable.
I thought the 8th edition 40K was kind of the pinnacle of, wow, hardback book,
Yeah,
these huge armies to play,
gorgeous
all
models.
the stuff you need. I thought that really was going to be the pinnacle. I didn't even foresee a release like this for AOS 2.0.
Yeah, and it's got this just a fantastic Night Haunt
Mm-hmm.
line in there. Pretty much a full-on army
It's 2 armies.
right off the bat. Well, there's some other models in there. I don't know what they are. I don't care about that. But
Stormcast Eternals.
oh, is that what they're called?
Yeah, except these are the, wiggle finger types. So,
okay.
Yeah.
The other ones that are covered head to toe in armor.
yeah.
And then when they die, they shoot into lightning or something.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm kidding. Good Lord. Yeah, no, they look fantastic too. For starter push fit models.
They're amazing.
Yeah. And they're going to sell so many. I promise you they're going to sell out. I bet you they'll sell out.
There will be a second printing without a doubt. Probably maybe even a third.
Yeah. There's going to be so many Stormcast players that want to get their mitts on
all that stuff.
all of it. Yeah, it all looks good, but especially I've already seen people losing their mind over a Lord Ordinator and a few of those bolt throwers. And it's just they're
amazing. When you think of where it used to be when you said push fit, you were like, oh, so crap models.
Well, not necessarily
Junk.
crap, but very static.
Yeah, very, well, super one-dimensional. And then all of a sudden, you see Shadespire come out and everything there is push fit and everything there is better than the ranges as they initially came out.
Yeah.
And now you're like, wow, this is... yeah, we sound like fanboys, don't we?
I don't care.
Yeah. I don't me either because it's that good.
Yeah, so the starter box, obviously, it's like 2 full-on armies. Mm-hmm. There's a crap ton of models. It might be the most models. Well, I take that back. They did have Skaven in 7th edition, or 8th edition.
Yeah, that's true.
There's a ton of models there, but it is a ton of stuff, model-wise. You get a hardback book that is going to have all the match play. It's going to have a condensed, concise repository, I guess, of all the narrative background that's happened up to this point, so that in case you haven't been keeping up to date, you should be able to sink your teeth into it from here. There's going to be rules for massive games, so like
Triumph
Apocalypse style
in there, and
there's going to be rules for flying battles in the sky and stuff, which just, sounds amazing. There's going to be so much content in this book. It's going to be bananas. And then, on top of all that, we're getting the new GHB 2018.
Yep.
So
thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we were worried about that.
Yeah, that it was going to come out on a different weekend, and then we'd be stuck in this weird limbo of pseudo second edition.
Yeah, can't play it because you don't know the points.
Yeah. So that's going to be incredible. The big rule book, I think it is going to have 12 new missions. Mm-hmm. The GHB 2018 is going to have 6 new missions. And then Malign Sorcery, the magic expansion that's going to come out, has an additional 2 battle plans in it.
Yeah,
so we're going to have 20 new battle plans to draw from for all you TOs out there, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
There's the whole Malign Sorcery expansion.
Yes.
It's coming out, which is another hardbound book. It has a whole ton of new rules in it. There's 11 new endless spells?
I think it's
9
11.
or 11. I can't remember off the top of my head.
I just had the page open too.
Yeah. They all have models to represent them because they're persistent spells that stay in the game. And the thing that I'm the happiest about is that all those models come in the box.
Yes.
You
don't have to.
Yeah, you're not buying little clam packs, like $15 a piece, and then everybody wants
a certain one.
You
goes,
can't find
it's
it.
eBay for $80.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
to me, I think the endless spells are one of the most interesting parts of the new edition going forward because of the inherent balance. They seem to, from everything they've announced so far, just the way they're balanced, where if you decide you're going to go first during the turn, well, whoever goes second gets to move spells first, and you can move the other person's spell. So, there's just so many different things that
Yeah.
I think they're going to liven up the game a lot. I don't know if they'll be fantastic for match play stuff. I mean, they might be. I don't know. We'll have to see. I mean, we don't.
Yeah.
Making conjectures about how all this stuff is going to work together is kind of silly at this point, because there's a handful of people that know the deal, and they're play testers, and they still have their faces zipped shut because, well, they have to.
Yep.
And well, they should, because I think it would be bad to be. The drip feed that we're getting from GW right now is bad enough, but to have a second source of drip feeds would be so much worse.
Yeah. Like engine riggers being 180 and Skywards being 160.
Who would ever put that kind of junk out on that? Oh, that was you.
Yeah. Like I said, I can neither confirm nor deny that statement, but I do know the answer.
Oh, you were so wrong for that.
Yeah.
My God.
Oh, and then on top of all this, there's additional stuff coming out for the Sacrosanct Chamber.
Yes.
And additional stuff coming out for the Night Haunt
Night
Army, as well as their army books.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. And they alluded to even more stuff being right around
the corner. And you look at how the release schedule goes, and one thing that, I was kind of making a joke about it earlier, but you look through the June White Dwarf, and the new release section is sort of non-existent. It's all about Soul Wars and AOS 2.0. So their production cycle right now is fully geared for another summer of AOS. The announcement of those Trader Marines and the Orcs, can't remember their names, the Wolfie people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember their...
Furries. Space furries.
Space furries. Oh my God, that's rude. Wow, it conjured a bad image. But yeah, we don't know how far off that is.
I imagine it can't be that far. I mean, all the
Not
books that
really.
were announced at LVO are all out.
We're out within about a month and a half, 2 months.
All the books that were announced at Adepticon are
all out?
now out. Yeah,
Yep,
with
they're done.
Knights being the last
Knights
one,
was
right?
the last one. So.
Yeah, it was what, Knights, Harlequins,
And Dark Elves. Dark Eldar.
No, Dark Eldar were announced at LVO.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
That was Necrons, Dark Eldar, and Tau.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Or,
Okay.
I'm sorry, Drakari.
I don't remember the exact...
There was some other... Death Watch.
Death Watch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
and they
you go.
were out.
They were the
back,
first
so,
ones.
Yeah.
They fired right out of the gate.
So I would imagine July-ish, probably.
Yeah,
So that leaves all of June and most of July for nothing but AOS releases.
pretty much.
So, yeah. It's
Unless
crazy.
they get real bananas and drop an Armageddon campaign for 40K where Angron is released and Gaskell becomes a Primorc. And they
Funny
throw
you
down.
should say something about that, because one of the feature articles in this month's White Dwarf was, drum roll please,
Armageddon.
a history
Oh,
of
history.
Armageddon.
Yeah.
So are they getting us ready for something, or is this just pure coinky
Don't do this to me, GW. Don't get me excited. This excited, and then...
You know what they've decided to do is they've decided to say, you don't need your mortgage. You don't need your
I
house.
know.
You don't need food for your
I
children.
know.
Give it to us. Speaking of giving money to GW, did you see the CEO, basically, Kevin, pretty much just wrote a £5 million check to split between the employees
Yeah,
for their bonus for, participation in the best year ever?
because their profits have nearly doubled.
Doubled?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's a shame that AOS made the company tits up, huh?
I predict bankruptcy within the next 6 months
Yeah,
with all these
goddamn.
horrible releases.
Listen,
that are coming
Games
our way.
Workshop, this is a desperate plea. Go back to square bases.
Yeah.
Rank and flank. It's the only way you're going to stay
the only way
alive.
you're going to stay afloat.
Okay. We're willing to forgive this midlife crisis of round-based fantasy that you're running around with right now.
Mhm.
You wanted to explore something different.
That's
I get
fine.
it. She was really pretty. Well, you need to come back. Okay.
Mhm.
Come back.
Come back home.
Take care of the kids.
That's right.
We don't want to lose the house.
We need the movement trays.
Yeah.
Hello. So
Anyways.
that's for all you negative Nellies,
We'll touch on you guys later.
you kings of war folks.
Yeah,
So-
I think somebody broke it down in one of the WhatsApp chats. It's like over £3,000 per employee.
Yeah, it was the word I got was each. I'm sure it's higher at different levels of management, but the store managers were looking at like something around $3,200 bonus check.
Yeah,
So
which is like $19,000 in Canada or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
$7 million in Australia.
Let's just tick off those users
Yeah.
and or listeners.
Yeah.
Sorry. And yeah, but yeah, for sure that's quite the windfall they've had. But anyway, back to AOS 2.0. You want to talk about our misgivings with the system coming up? I mean,
well, we should say that pre-orders will go up on the 16th.
that's right.
And then I think it's 2 weeks of pre-orders.
Yeah,
So
30th
it'll launch
is
on the
the
20th,
release.
the 30th, yeah.
Yeah.
Which means that Colorado
Clan
Clan Carnage
Carnage
won't
is-
use it. Wah, wah.
Yeah, it's kind of sad, but that'll be our farewell to AOS 1.0.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
it'll be nice. It's a team tournament, so, it'll be nice to have a nice little fun send-off, and then we'll... I put the message out today we suspended our Path to Glory campaign because of the 2.0
Yeah.
being right around, and we really want to jump on that. So we're going to suspend what we have now because it was all done with the old rules, and we'll pick it up as soon as 2.0 hits.
Definitely.
So we decided we were going to have a 4-way mega battle for early round positioning in the campaign, see how that goes, and we'll just play a nice decent sized game of 2.0 right off the bat.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. But do you have any misgivings coming up? I know I shared mine earlier.
Yeah, we were talking about this beforehand, and
I don't want to say misgivings. I mean, I am nervous about a couple of things.
yeah, I know the way they've promoted it with summoning has got a lot of buzz going online with people. The knee-jerk reactions is flipping out. And
I did. I have to admit, I was one of those that, I didn't go online and flip out, but I was sitting there in my head going, this is going to ruin the game.
yeah.
But when you look more and more at it, you kind of go, well, now
I think it'll be good. I think you're going to see summoning be like a turn 3, turn 4 mechanic.
Yeah.
So that those armies can still be susceptible to Alpha Strike.
Mhm.
You can probably build your armies to try to increase your summoning capability, but it'll be at the cost of a more well-rounded army,
Yeah.
which again makes you even more susceptible to
Sure.
more Alpha Strike style armies. I have a tremendous amount of faith in the playtest team. Ben Johnson
Yeah, he even
said
it.
that this is the most tested mechanic of AOS 2.
Yeah.
Ultimately, if it doesn't work, if this thing launches and it turns out, whoops, maybe it wasn't quite playtested enough, we know the dozen or so people that we can blame this on for ruining our game.
That's right.
Right?
You can hunt them down. And,
Yeah, they're on Twitter. Just,
that's right.
Blame them for ruining your lives.
Yeah, we'll just basically dox them and, and yeah.
God.
Okay, I apologize for that. We would never, ever do that. But
No, like we were saying earlier before we started the show, worst case scenario. Worst case scenario, it launches, the dozens or so eyes that have been on this since the beginning just happen to miss something,
Mhm.
right? It could, in theory, happen.
A Jack
the
Armstrong
unwashed
type looks at
masses,
it and goes,
get their
hey,
hands
look,
on
I broke it.
break it, boom, 2 weeks later,
Yeah.
they put out an FAQ and they fix it.
I mean,
so it's like 2 weeks of chicken littles.
Yeah, and you just look at what they did with 40K. And,
Yeah.
Honestly, I can see exactly how all that stuff happened. They playtest this whole game with all these people, and they miss the one, you take these flyers and you win every game.
Yeah.
Okay, and how difficult was it to fix? Okay, flyers cannot have objectives secured. They
Boom.
can't secure objectives.
Done. Sorted.
Problem over.
Yeah, it's just... So
They are-
if that happens, if something manages to slip through, because we live in a world where it's a living document,
Yeah.
they can just fix things.
Fix it in a heart. And I honestly don't think it will. When you look at the people that we know that are playtesters, these are people that have experience. They know what they're doing.
They're incredibly dirty, filthy players that try to break things. Oh, wait, no.
See, you're still trying to get me beat up by the facehammer guys. They already probably have my face on a board going.
They don't slow down to read the background. They go straight to the mechanics.
Straight to the cheese. Okay, yeah. So, but no, seriously, if it can be broken, those kind of guys, Russ Veals and those guys, are going to see where those problems lie. And they're going to go, hey guys, did you notice this?
Yeah,
So I have faith. I have a lot of faith that
absolutely.
it's going to work. And, one of the things I was thinking of, and we were talking earlier, is they've made it very clear that summoning is going to work differently for every faction.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to do well. I mean, some will probably do it very similar, but like Nurgle has contagion points. Khorne has the bloodbound points.
Blood tithe, yeah.
Blood tithe. Yeah, bloodbound. Blood tithe points. Everyone's going to have a different mechanic, and there's going to be some armies out there that don't have
Zinch
summoning.
uses mystery points.
Yeah.
Slanesh uses a safety word. You know, whatever. Just
But you can't tell your opponent what it is.
Yeah, really.
So, and you know, you're going to see probably disparities in how summoning works, but they flat out said that if you don't have good access to summoning, you're going to get massive points drops so that you make up for that with your ability to put a bigger army on the field.
Yep.
And so it will even out over the course of a game to where it's not unbalanced. And that's, what more can you ask for?
And it's just something you're going to have to, you know, this really only applies, again, to people that are talking about like competitive match play style.
Right.
Okay. So if you're not somebody that really goes to tournaments and stuff like that, then it doesn't really affect you to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
If you're that concerned with like summoning and everything ruining your game. You just
Right.
have conversation with the people that you're going to play with and be like, hey, we can still play with this mechanic, but maybe we'll house rule it a little more, whatever.
Yeah.
But if you are going to be a person that's going to like competitive events, it's just something else you're going to have to factor in when you write an army list. Like my army doesn't have access to summoning. I did get these point reductions. So when I build my army, what am I going to do when I come up against a death army that's going to be able to bring stuff back for free?
Right.
Or I'm going to come up against a Horticulous Slimix crazy contagion point army that is just trying to
spitting out
spam
plague bearers.
Yeah.
You know, or,
every turn he's just dropping plague bearers.
Mhm.
You know, what do I do about that? It's just like what you would do now if you were going to try to make a legitimate shot for a podium.
right.
What are you going to do against Clown Car? What are you going to do against
You
Change
have to have a
Host?
plan.
You know, it's just more things you have to consider. And that in a bigger meta, I think makes for
Makes
better
it
play. I mean, you just
far
see
better.
more things.
The competitive scene gets far better because you don't see the same list going against the same. You know, how tired of we are of seeing the Zinch, what's his name?
Change Host.
Change Host.
Yeah.
You know, and then the Murder Host. And you know, you just get tired of seeing I mean, these are not easy lists to play, but you do get kind of bored seeing, oh, look, I'm playing another Change Host.
Yeah.
Yay.
Or another Vanguard Wing. I mean, I know that got modified a little bit, but still.
And yeah, it's one of those things where if you can deal with it, then it doesn't bother you. If you can't
Right.
deal with it, you're like, well, chalk up a loss.
Yeah.
And you're at the point to where you're like, well, do you want to play the game or do you want to just go have a couple beers and let's say you win?
Yeah.
You know.
I have to say this is the thing I'm most excited about is how much it's going to shake up the meta.
Well, we were talking about this earlier, is all the changes that we've seen means so many more heroes are going to be in the game. So many units that were never taken before because there was something just that much better than them.
Yep.
Now they're going to be on the table. You're going to see a bigger variety of things on the table. You're going to see different armies all over the place. And the beauty of it is you can have 7 people in your club all playing Khorne. All of you have completely different armies that play completely different styles. And you might be the guy that likes to go across the board and play Smash Mouth. I might be the guy that likes to sit back and kind of bring you into a trap. We can both play that game.
Yep.
And we can tailor our lists now. It's not simply, you know what, this is what you have to take. Because taking anything else is dumb.
Yeah. Well, and now we got access to, what was it, like 86 new artifacts or something? Yeah, it's just
relics.
so many new things.
And the spell lists. And the realm. Now you're going to have to decide what realm you're playing in. And you have 6 spells for each realm that are available to you. And your endless spells do different things based on what realm they're in.
Exactly.
Because each endless spell has a home realm.
Yeah.
So the amount of... I just love it.
Yeah.
I can't keep gushing.
Super pumped.
Yeah.
Super pumped. I mean, and the fact that we're getting 2 new armies on top of it, just to keep that ball rolling. We might very well get a couple new armies right behind it. You know, maybe something for destruction. Maybe Malarians.
Yeah.
Elves or Tyrion's elves.
There's been a lot of hints.
Yeah. It's good times.
You
maybe
can't have
Slanesh.
all this Slanesh build-up without some payoff. I mean, I know the Adneth Deepkin are really very cool and very neat, but there's got to be more to this storyline than just them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and Daughters of Cain.
Yeah, and Daughters, but that's kind of I don't know. I get the feeling that those are two sides of the same sort of coin.
Well, they're both one side of the same coin, and
right,
then
one
Slaanesh
side
is on
of
the
the
other
same,
side,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, that's what I meant. Shut up. Anyway,
Who gets the outer rim though?
oh, I don't know. Well, it would probably be Malarian and Teclis.
Who knows?
Who knows? But anyway, I mean, I think there's more in this Slaanesh storyline than we've seen.
Oh, absolutely,
up to this point. And
Because
we're
I
gonna
mean,
see
there's basically
more
at
elves.
least two more armies, elf armies. Tyrion and Malarians,
Mhm.
and there might be in a whole nother project that Teclis undertook after, being a bastard and running off from the Deepkin failure.
Hey,
Just saying.
you got to look at that one and go, I can do better. I can do better.
Yeah. Right.
Just give me some souls. I can do better. Yeah. So I don't know. The future is. I've always we sound like just a bunch of gushing fanboys, but we really are, because we're always talking about the future for AOS is so bright,
Yeah.
and now it's just like it's dialed up to Corona of the Sun bright. I don't see this edition falling on its face at all. You look at how much flexibility there's going to be in this as we go forward,
Yeah.
even with the rules that they've teased out. And summoning gets a lot of, but you mentioned a rule earlier about it's a simple change to combat in in the combat phase. If you are in combat range, you have to fight.
Yep.
Used to be optional. You didn't have to. Now you have to. This is a huge change in how the game is going to go for a lot of factions and a lot of units, like the Maw Crusher, who really wants you to fight him because he.
Well, depending on how you build him.
Yeah.
And there's Stormcast heroes that are like that too.
The whole Star Drake thing, right?
Yep.
So and doesn't one of the characters have a reflection? But yeah, I mean, but it's also one of those things where tactically you have to decide, if I get into combat, I only have two ways out. Either I kill you or I retreat and, give up all the things that go with falling out of combat, retreating out of combat.
Yep.
So it's none of this, well, I can just be in there and I just don't need to roll those dice. I wish it was the 30th already.
I know.
I'm sitting here bemoaning the fact that it's June already, but I want it to be July so that we can have the damn rules in our hand.
Yep. Well, that's what we're all going to be reading at CCC.
At Clan Carnage, we're all going to be like, can you just take my turn for me? I'm reading. Just do whatever you want. You win.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, man, if we were playing with these rules, I'd kick your ass.
But right now.
Yep. Oh, well.
Yeah. Can't blame the CCC guys because it's just way too late. I mean, 2 weeks isn't enough for.
Yeah, because we had talked about if it had come out in 2 weeks before the event, we'd use it. But I think with the amount of changes, this isn't like General's Handbook 2016 to 2017 kind of change. This is.
It's a new game.
It's a new game,
yeah.
And the last thing you want to do is only have the rules available for 2 weeks before, or especially 1 week before, and then people start getting things wrong, and then you realize that they got them wrong after the game, and then
it just leads to contention
bitter
and bad feelings, and so we don't need that.
I totally respect their choice to stick with the. It'll be fun having one last Iron Jaws aneurysm in 1.0.
Sure. Are you bringing RJ?
Yeah, I'm bringing Iron Jaws. I'm not going to get the death done by then.
So you're going to actually be able to compare and contrast right away, because you'll play Iron Jaws under 1.0 and have it fresh in your mind, and then be able to flip around and play them again, because I'm sure we'll do like a test game.
Oh, yeah.
Just to see, because I'll have my Nurgle, so we can do, just to see what the differences are. We probably won't, we'll probably do a slow-paced, just learn the rules game.
Being able to stack my wogs. And...
Yeah. You'll do all your cheater arc crap.
Yep.
I'll do all my cheater Nurgle crap.
Brutes with 8 attacks, charging 3d6 dice.
Yeah. And I'll just go, oh, look, you did. Yeah.
You're still all -1 to hit.
Yeah.
Whee!
And I still didn't take any ones.
Whatever. Who cares about your Nurgle?
I do.
Have we gushed enough? Is there any... okay, first of all, seeing as how this is still the realm of the New Dawn.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that got announced?
No, this is the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
The Endless Spells, which is Malign Sorcery, which, by the way, is it's termed an expansion. So it's something you add or don't add to the game at, the player's discretion.
Right. Well, okay, so
the Josh Reynolds novel, which when you get the box Soul Wars set, you get the first chapter of the novel.
Yeah.
But I would highly recommend, first of all, it's Josh Reynolds, so go buy the book because it's going to be good.
Yeah, we'll definitely be picking that up.
You know, it's going to be probably like a little bit like Dark Imperium. You know, there will be a lot of showing off the new stuff, but it's still a damn good read and damn good book. So
yeah, let's see. So in the world of Warhammer Age of Sigmar Champions,
dun 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 dun
dun dun, the pre-order stuff has gone up for that.
I think so. Yeah,
you can get like some crazy starter set,
starter box or league starter box, or something.
Has like all 4 of the starter decks.
Yeah,
one for Destruction, Death, Order, Chaos. Comes with a whole bunch of booster packs, a collector's binder, all kinds of crazy cool stuff. You can go to their website to check that out. In the video game realm, Deathwing, the enhanced edition came out for PC and PS4.
PS4, yep.
It is not great.
Which is a damn shame because I was really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I got it for my birthday and was pretty disappointed, unfortunately. That's
something I really didn't want to hear.
Yeah. So. That being said, if you do have it and you do play on your PS4, hit me up. I'd love to check out the online multiplayer version of it some more. I've only played the single player. And then we got some additional gameplay footage of Inquisitor Martyr.
Yeah, that looks
pretty fantastic. The console version of it for both the PS4 and the Xbox One has been pushed back a month.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's all it gets pushed back.
Yeah, really.
I know these companies like to pump out the PC version and then really drag their feet on the console. Yep. But yeah, that looks fantastic. I'll be picking that up. You and I will both be picking that up, I'm sure.
For sure.
I think that's about it. More of those sweet, sweet leggings showing off.
Yeah. Sign me up.
Right?
It's going to be my uniform of the day at Colorado Clan Carnage. It's my Tyranid leggings.
Oh yeah, baby. Oh, don't give me any ideas.
Yeah.
You think we could talk Steven into it?
I doubt it. I hope not. For the love of God, I hope not.
Oh, man. Yeah, I think that's pretty much.
I don't remember any other. I was watching the licensing show on Twitch, the Twitch stream, and they had some interesting stuff coming up, but a lot of it was down the road. So,
shout out to Mitzi and Jimbo.
Yay!
Putting out another show.
Speaking of which, we are recording on June 9th. Happy birthday, Jimbo.
Yeah. Happy birthday. And apparently I have not watched the latest episode. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I'm a little behind on but apparently I am I'm the Barry White of podcasting.
Oh no.
Do you think Mitzi said that because he's my first, he's my last, my everything?
Mm-hmm. I think so. Dear God save us all. I gotta say, I'm really enjoying their YouTube show a lot just because it's something fun to watch. I like to watch some YouTube when I go to bed. There's a lot of times I watch news shows and I watch Philly D and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Some of that is very kind of depressing or angering.
Yeah.
And, it does. It makes you get the blood pressure can go up sometimes when you realize how stupid some people can be. And then, you get to watch Mitzi and Jimbo and all they are is freaking happy to be alive and happy to be playing AOS and happy to be sharing all their good stuff with you. So.
I mean, but if you're watching Mitzi and Jimbo in bed, isn't your blood pressure kind of going up?
A little.
I mean, it's just, But if you're going to watch them, that's where you'd watch them.
That's, under the cover, sure.
Don't come in, Grandma. I'm watching Mitzi and Jimbo.
Hey, knock before you come in.
Yeah, really.
Oh, God.
Also,
we're not doing their show any good. You realize.
I know. Also, speaking of YouTube, is Stormcast just got released.
Yes.
The Age of Sigmar
AOS
podcast ?
Yeah, hashtag. Huh?
It's a guys. It's a vidcast.
Yeah.
It's a
Change the
vlog.
name.
Whatever
It's
you want
a
to call
vlog.
it. It is very well done. I really enjoy it. To me, it is what Warhammer TV should have been by now. I'll just be honest. I don't watch Warhammer TV anymore. I still subscribe because I'm too lazy to unsubscribe from it. But I'm still okay with them taking the $5 a month from me. I want to continue to support what they do, but hopefully they clean that thing up and do something better with it. I'm not impressed at all. With Stormcast, like, surprise, surprise, when you record something in an actual studio instead of on a gaming floor,
good.
I can effing hear what you're saying, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
I think because the way they do their segments and everything, they keep it very interesting. They always get somebody on that...
it's to the point. It's here now.
Yeah. It just, again, it's let's get this person on to talk about this, but let's let them know that in advance.
Yeah.
So that when we get on, it's, I don't know. It's
not
just
a surprise.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I will say, the Twitch stream has gotten better lately. I think Siri runs it a little bit tighter than before. That, between the Rob time and that Interregnum time was kind of off the hook when they just were getting anybody to just sit in front of the camera and talk.
Is it Siri or Carrie?
Siri.
Is it Siri?
She refers to herself as Siri.
Okay.
So, and I think she's getting a better grip on running everything. I know they're like miking up the people in the live streams now, the games.
Okay.
They're actually miking up the people, and they're doing a lot more of that. They went to regular stand microphones for the show itself. So there's no more of that. I can't hear you because either your beard or your shirt is constantly rubbing against your microphone.
Okay.
So it sounds better. The sound is immeasurably better lately. So
I might have to revisit it.
Yeah,
then.
take a watch of a recent. Like I said, I was watching the licensing show the other day, and other than some points where they got way off track, it was still it was fun to listen to. And again, it's one of those things where you watch and listen to it while you're doing something else. So kind of doesn't matter to me if they go off track a little bit. I'm not, staring at it.
Yeah.
So
fair enough.
But I like the wide range of things they're putting on there. Like the guy that was doing the White Dwarf, the June White Dwarf layout, and he was talking about all the articles that were there, and not so much what was in the article, but why they did the article. And I thought it was so great that the second battle report in this month's issue is a battle report they did 20 years ago, and they recreated with Peach and I forgot the other guy's name, but yeah, they're doing that Glazer 2. Yeah. And I was like, they're just putting it back together, and the way they were doing the photographs so that the photographs matched the one from 20 years ago.
That's
I was like,
awesome.
that's so cool. So yeah, it's getting better. But yeah, the Stormcast is, my biggest hang up is I listen to it as a podcast. I don't watch it. And when they're like, hey, let's open up this box. Hey, check this out. And I'm like, great radio, guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's take a look at one of my models over here. And
yeah.
Yeah.
See, I watch it on YouTube.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever actually downloaded the podcast. So, yeah, I like it. I really do.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's a good thing. And like you see, they're on point. They have 5-minute segments. So they're not going, it's not all over the map. We're here to talk to Phil Kelly about this.
Yep.
And he gives you 5 minutes on that.
All right.
Should we wrap up New Dawn?
Yeah, I think
it's only been like 45 minutes.
Good Lord.
And we only did 3 products. God, what a way. Well, 2 products because you wouldn't let me talk more about Josh Reynolds' new book. So, hashtag I read AOS.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's move on.
The realm of creatal? Creation?
Yeah.
Battle and creation, because we don't have a whole lot of either.
Yeah.
In which we'll talk about how we don't have a lot of either battle or creation. What have you been up to, Bill?
Well, like I said, I fought a cold, and I'm still fighting a cold, a little bit. And I've almost finished base coating another Great Unclean one, and some more Plague Bearers, and I'm on track to not be done for Colorado Clan Carnage.
Sweet.
So, yeah, I'm looking forward to getting docked points for painting. So
Nice. Very, very nice.
And I haven't picked up a dice in anger in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So
I have done even less than that. I am finally I'm finally getting my house going.
yeah.
So I've spent all last weekend laying pipe in the desert sun, which was super sweet.
Oh, you mean like plumbing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, wow,
No,
outside?
My exhibitionist days are behind me. Yeah. My lily white ass was burning.
I bet.
Yeah. So I've not done anything.
Yeah. It's been a bad 3 week period.
Bit of a drought.
Yeah.
So need to get the juices flowing before Clan Carnage
Mhm.
and before 2.0 drops. I want to
Yeah.
need to get the Death up and running, man. At least built. It doesn't necessarily need to be painted, but I want to try some Death stuff with new releases.
Yep.
And all that as well.
We've got some pretty big deadlines coming up because 23rd of June, we have two things. One is the deadline to turn in lists for Colorado Clan Carnage, I believe. 23rd?
Sure.
Yeah.
It didn't look.
And the 23rd is also Coalescence 2018.
Yeah.
So we'll have more on that later. But yeah, so we got some deadlines coming up that we were supposed to meet. And at the end of this month, we have to do our quarterly wrap up to see if we achieved our quarterly hobby goals, which I know remember at the beginning of the quarter, we decided, we said.
We did quarter. Why would we do that?
Because we are stupid men.
Are we on record for?
Yes.
Oh my God.
For having said this is what we're going to have. We both said pretty much you were going to have Death done by CCC and I was going to have my Nurgle done as well as the terrain I had built.
Oh.
And you see how far I've gone on that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so glad you could have come along for this train wreck.
this ride to disappointment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Good Lord. Okay, well.
So let's leave Creation and Battle behind because it's just embarrassing for the both of us.
Yeah, we've seen dumpster fires before. We don't need to.
Yeah. And now we are one.
God. All right.
All right, let's go to lore, which is going to be a weird lore segment because it's all over the map.
Yep.
The Realm of Lore.
So first thing up in the realm of lore, our local Games Workshop store manager was nice enough to give us a rules voucher, which is a little thing printed up by Games Workshop, which you can trade in for a copy of a booklet that's going to have, I believe, the new rules and information for how to update all your stuff. So it's probably an abridged thing of the main rule book, the big hardbound rule book, but it'll get you going. And so we have a voucher for one of those free, and it has to be from a Games Workshop store. And the way we're going to run this contest is we have a big mug in front of us, and we have a whole bunch of little dice. And you are about to hear us pour a whole bunch of dice into this thing. After we record this show, I'm going to take a picture of the glass filled with dice. Going to post it on Facebook and probably Twitter with a link to our Facebook. And if you want to win the voucher, just take a guess as to how many dice are in the glass. And whoever comes closest, with ties broken by the first post, time-wise, will win the voucher. And we'll send it off to you as quick as we can so that you'll have it on release day. So that you'll be able to get it. So shall we pour some dice?
We shall.
Okay. Get ready for the noise. It might be annoying, but... How about some D10s first?
Yeah, there's going to be all kinds of different size dice in there. Ooh. Clinkies.
And some blue dice?
Yeah.
What color next? What do you
let's do the white.
All right, white.
White, and then more blue.
More blue.
Yeah. Starting to look very ultramarine-y.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know about this.
Oh, that's very
Yeah, throw a little green in there. Some
Throw a little green.
Trader Dark Angels.
All right.
And cap it off with some
How about some black?
black and reds.
All right. Whoops.
Oh, yeah. Fill that up.
Hey, leave me alone. All right, now let's get some other colors.
Throw some of those big casino dice in there.
You
Really.
want some of the purples?
Yeah, really.
All right.
Throw the volume off a little bit.
There we go.
Okay. All
That
right.
made it go down. All right, how about some
And,
frosted blues?
There you go.
All right.
You got any of the really small, like 1 millimeter
Oh, jeez.
dice?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I have them somewhere, but I'd have to find them.
That would be epic.
That would definitely throw the counts off. All right. And then some straight GW white dice.
Did you just assume their sexuality?
Yes, I did. And their ethnicity. Wow.
Ay.
Stay tuned for more gentrification on the Rolling Man Podcast. Think that's enough?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. It comes up to the top, so here's a glass full of dice.
I don't know if anybody can actually hear what you're saying.
Geez, I hope so. That was probably pretty. So, we'll take a picture of it, guess how many dice are in there, and win a prize.
In addition to that, when we'll pour all the dice out, add them up, and get an average. And if anybody can guess what that total is,
Wow.
I will send you a picture of me in 40K stretch pants.
Oh my God. There's one I don't want to win.
Yeah. Everyone's a winner.
Wow. All right, so we are approaching our 50th episode.
Yeah.
What with this being episode 47 and all.
Is it 47?
This is number 47, yes.
I thought we did 47 last.
No, we did 47 today.
Oh,
Next
man.
we'll do 48. Yeah.
It's all a blur.
Isn't it?
Blur of mediocrity.
Here you go. Merkel.
Yeah. God.
So with our 50th episode, we're going to do another contest. Now, we haven't exactly figured out what it's going to be yet,
Yeah.
but we figured today we would announce 2 prizes.
Okay.
So,
Lay it on us.
lay it on you. So
What
the
am I going to
number...
win?
Huh?
What am I going to win?
Oh, yeah, because this is rigged. The first prize, which isn't necessarily first prize, but it's the first of the prizes, is going to be a brand new, in the box, never having been opened since it was shipped to me, copy of the latest edition of Space Hulk.
Okay.
So it's a pretty big box. So someone will win that, and we will ship it out to them and say thank you very much for being a loyal listener and all that good stuff.
Yep.
The next prize, which I just decided,
Okay.
is going to be a shrink-wrap copy of Warhammer Quest Silver Tower.
Nice.
Nice.
All right.
So, yeah, that's 2 of the prizes. There may be more. We don't know. And we haven't exactly decided how we're going to give them away, but those are coming.
Yeah.
And some lucky listener is going to win one of those because nobody's going to win both. So, or more.
And going off our track record of giveaways so far,
Yeah.
it will be people that do not live in the United
Yeah.
States.
Yeah.
So it's going to be super expensive to ship it halfway across the world.
Yeah, probably. But, oh well. These things will happen.
Yep.
Now, one thing I know that we are going to do, and we've never done anything for our Patreon supporters before, but however we figure out how we put people into the mix for this, the Patreon guys are going to get a bit of an edge.
Yeah.
So,
Seems fair.
yeah, if we do it by just random draw or something like that, we'll make sure they get a little better chance. So, just more reason to become a Patreon guy if you want to. Next up, we were going to discuss a farewell to first edition.
Okay.
What we liked and what we didn't like about AOS First Edition. Because I know a lot of people are devoting a lot of time to AOS 2.0. Maybe it's time to do a little retrospective of 1.0. And I mean, we all know it had growing pains, and we don't need to go back to, what it was.
Yeah,
like
I was
in
going to say, are
day
we doing
one.
this like from
No.
the thing that we found at the bottom of the smoldering crater
Yeah.
of when it dropped, or
No.
like GHB 2016 forward?
I
or-
would say from like last month, the gestation and all of the facts that have put AOS 1.0 where it is today. I mean, what do we think overall of the game? And I know I can tell you from my point of view, I had zero interest in Warhammer Fantasy Battles. I had absolutely zero interest. The minute AOS dropped, I was on board, full speed ahead.
Yeah, you were a 40K guy before.
Yeah, always 40K. And that's still my first love, but AOS is just so engaging, such a great community. And really, I had fallen out of love with 40K. Now I'm back in it with 8th edition, but still, AOS is that first, it's that new girlfriend. She's hot. She's hot, and she's getting hotter.
Yeah, she is. She's developing nicely.
Yes, she is.
I'll let you go first. Okay. As somebody who has only had Age of Sigmar experience,
Yep.
What are your thoughts on where, from when you first came in with Trials of Oagir, which was the GW little thing they put out, way back in the Wild West days of Age of Sigmar, till now? What do you think?
I have, in a short 3-year period, I've never seen a game go from having so much undelivered promise to delivering on the promise of the system as AOS. I have seen lots and lots of miniatures games, and you can look around the room. I play a lot of miniatures games. I've never seen one mature so quickly into such a good competitive but fun game system that is engaging. And we hash its foibles to death. We hash that some factions are just better than others and some lists are better than others. But overall, you can pretty much take almost any army and play against almost any other army and have a game. As long as you are playing with like-minded people. Now, I'm not saying, you're going to go to a tournament with your, I don't know, Beast Claw Raiders and go up against that Zinch guy and kick his butt. But it could happen. And I think the game is so engaging, so much fun. There's so many avenues. There's so many rabbit holes to go down. There's so much conversion opportunity. There's so much, there's history. And yes, all the history blew up. But there's still so much of a rich tapestry that they draw on. And it's getting better all the time. So I know we're just fanboys and all, but I seriously do give it a solid B+ as far as all the games go. And I don't know if I've given out any A's ever. So it gets a solid B+. So now you, with all of your vast wealth of experience with fantasy, well, you played all the editions.
Not all. I've been playing since 5th edition.
So, okay.
Fantasy Battle.
Virtually all.
I got to say that when AOS dropped, I was a fan probably since the moment I saw it.
Yeah.
There was something about the way you set up your armies where it wasn't rank and flank anymore.
Yeah.
That just, in the way things moved around the table, it just seemed more cinematic to me, more engaging to me than the previous fantasy battles. I watch battle reports online of old, like 6th and 7th edition games, and there's just no way I could ever go back to any kind of a rank and flank, even if it was like a historical or something like that. I'd have no interest in it. It especially in a fantasy setting, it just makes no sense. Mm-hmm. Like, orcs and stuff are just never gonna sit in a perfectly
nice
ranked file. Is just silly. And then to see how the game has evolved since then, because as much as I liked the way it looked, there was definitely issues. Not having points and stuff like that made it really difficult to explain the game to new people. And that's what you had to do because a whole lot of the veterans dropped. So it was rough, but to see how much the game has grown is amazing. So mechanically speaking, for Age of Sigmar, I think it's fantastic. It's only gone from strength to strength. And like you said, that we can be a little hard on certain factions and stuff, certain lists. And it's no mystery that some armies are pretty strong. But overall, I think the game is in a great place, and I would imagine it's going to go to an even better one when this new edition drops. Now, as far as like the setting and everything goes, I played 40K at first, even though fantasy is my biggest love, because fantasy just never really took off around here.
Yeah.
And I finally found a group that played fantasy and got into it from there. And I really enjoyed the old world. But you could definitely see the Tolkien influence and the traditional fantasy influences on it. And I think the Mortal Realms setting is so much better.
Oh, yeah.
It's so much richer. There's so many more things you can do with it. And now that we've gotten to a point, because when it launched, they were kind of like, it's infinite. You can do whatever you want, which makes it better than everything else, right, guys? And like the player base was just like, what?
Really?
What do you mean it's infinite? Like, we need a little bit more. Sorry, we need boundaries on our infinite. Yeah. I know that sounds kind of silly, but like we got to put up some kind of guardrails. And now the authors have really hit their stride, and not just Josh Reynolds. There's other guys that are really sinking their teeth into this and just producing some great content, which is the whole reason why we have the I Read AOS thing going, is to promote all of it. Yeah, it's so much richer, and and you can still feel the fact that it is like this infinite play space. But now we're getting so much more. We see these new armies like the Kharadron Overlords and things like that, the Idenat Deepkin, to notice that this is really high fantasy stuff, you know, and this is a whole new, their own playground that they get to do whatever they want in. Now, there's nothing holding them back. And I love that.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, that's probably the best part of it all, is the background, which is why I'm super excited for the paper and dice role-playing game that's going to be coming out for Mortal Realms, for Age of Sigmar.
So cool.
Yeah, and I'm really hoping, I know they keep saying it, but I'm really hoping that there's like a video game that's set for Age of Sigmar coming out soon, and not some like top-down tile-based strategy game. I like those, but we've got enough of that stuff. I want like a open sandbox, you know, Skyrim-esque, Witcher 3 style game set in the Mortal Realms. I think that would be bananas.
That would be huge.
I mean, just looking back, the launch sucked.
The launch was rough. It was really
rough. Losing friends over a game sucked. Stuff like that, and then just having to rebuild this whole thing that in a place like Albuquerque, you know, we had just got done building up a whole fantasy scene, and then just to watch the whole thing vaporize like Thanos snapped his fingers for tabletop games, you know, that was rough. And to have to do it over again sucked, but you know, we did it, and we're in a much better place now. I think a much stronger community now. It's fantastic. So I'm super hyped, and I'm super excited for 2.0.
Yeah, I can see that. You know, I think one of the biggest things that they had to look at with the old world was the boundaries there were too tight. There was no more you could do. Yeah. You can't find a new continent every other year when you want to bring in something new.
Yep.
After a while, you can't go where you want to go. So the change to this seriously open world, leaving the token-esque idea behind, not saying there's anything wrong with it, but it was just too limiting from an IP licensing point of view, as well as to, you know, when Games Workshop started, that was the rage, that was the thing, that's where everything was. But they've grown up, they've grown beyond it now. They need to have their own space, and they've created their own space.
And not only that, but they literally have the Middle-earth tabletop game as well.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so if you want traditional fantasy, it's there in gorgeous minis and, you know,
amazing detail.
Yeah, great rules and everything. It's already there if you want your more traditional Tolkien D&D-esque fantasy stuff. And then, you know, if you want to crank it to 11 and ride an acid trip on the back of a giant monster, that's where Age of Sigmar comes in, you know, where there are no limits. So,
that's right.
And I think it's great because it allows them to do more with Middle Earth.
Yeah.
You know, because it's not like
they don't have to be worrying about treading on their own IP.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Now let's delve into, and I don't want to be specific on this, but the things we didn't like about or don't like about AOS 1.0. And I'm not saying, you know, I hate Tzeentch or, you know, I hate this, but what do you feel are some of the either mechanics or some of the overarching things that aren't good?
I think the way things were play tested before were a bit rough. I mean, you can see that with Tzeentch and Kharadron Overlords. Those are books that kind of fell through the gaps on the playtest thing. They have since corrected that, and that's why, you know, earlier in the realm of New Dawn, when we were talking about 2.0, you know, I think that's why we're so positive about it. It's not just from a fanboy standpoint. I think you can see the groundwork that has been put in play leading up to this from everybody involved, whether it's all the way from playtesters out in the field, getting together and running through this stuff when they can, all the way up to, you know, to the upper management that has got the top-down view. And like I said, worst case scenario, a thing or two slips by, and they nip it in the bud in a couple of weeks after it launches with an FAQ. That whole system is such an improvement.
Yes.
You know, when they came out and announced 2 weeks after a book drops, we'll put out an FAQ. Twice a month or twice a year, we'll put out overarching FAQ, and then once a year, we'll put out a general's handbook for both system, for 40K and for Age of Sigmar. It's just fantastic.
Yeah. You know you're never going to be saddled with a problem for more than 6 months.
Right.
You know,
Right.
that's the upper limit of how long something's going to be broken for. And I mean, if something's really broken, they're not afraid to put out a fact that says, hey, listen, do this now.
So I think that was one thing that was a bit rough with 1.0. Some of the stuff fell through the gaps.
My biggest beef, I think, and I want to hit this before you jump in, is the lack of power creep in the books. There is no gradual increase from some of the original books, discounting the Stormcast Eternal book that came out like hot on the heels of the release. But you look at some of those first releases, Seraphon, what were some of the first releases?
Fire Slayers,
Fire
Flesh Eater
Slayers.
Court.
Yeah.
Iron Jaws.
Where they're just not in, there hasn't been a power creep up to, say, Sylvaneth, and then Tzeentch, and then Nurgle, and then there was this cliff that you fell off when you went back to those older books.
Oh, okay.
You know, until the General's Handbooks came out and started to address some of that stuff, it wasn't a power creep, it was a power cliff. So, I mean, I think that could have been, and you can kind of understand, this is a huge, long process. And as they realized where they were taking the game and where they were going and finding their feet, you look at these last 3 books, the Idoneth Deepkin, the Daughters of Cain, and the Nurgle book, you can see very much that these were written with 2.0 in mind.
Legions and Nagash as well.
Sorry, yeah, you're right. The last 4 books, Legions, these were written with the new rule sets in mind. They have that progressive mentality, and the systems are already in place to where they're going to take a couple of words of change in the new edition to bring them completely up to speed.
Yeah, they definitely feel like they're all on the same level.
Whereas, yeah, you know, you go back to Fire Slayers, and they're going to need some, hell, you look at Beastclaw Raiders, they're going to need some rewriting of their War Scrolls, which they've already said they're doing. There are War Scrolls under big-time revision. So, you know,
comparing like Flesh Eater Court to Mankikin, it's like,
it's not even in the
that's
same.
a pretty steep uphill climb.
But again, it's one of those things where they have found their direction and their footing and where this is going. And so you can't, you know, everything evolves. You can't sit there and say they're idiots for releasing that book 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Because, you know, hell, things have changed. They know where it's going now. And I think in a couple of 3 weeks or so, we're going to find out that they'll bring that book up to speed, up to power. And the beauty of the system that they have now with the General's Handbook, it just takes a few pages with some more scroll changes, some points changes, and now those old books they're commensurate with the new books.
Yep.
So the system in place is phenomenal, but it's one of those things where, boy, the system had better been good, because you have books that right now are lagging behind. You don't see Destruction playing. Now we're going to be in a place where I think you're going to see a lot more parity, a lot more, hell, at least everybody's going to have a lot more builds to play with and to experiment with.
Well, and you saw an attempt with that in GHB 2018.
Oh, yeah.
When they went back to those older books, they gave them new allegiance abilities.
And everybody
stuff like that.
got
and
toys.
For some armies, it worked. Like Fire Slayers suddenly became a very competitive
Seraphon
army.
became
from
literally unplayable to just, whatever. No, I'm kidding.
No, you know, they could definitely swing for the fences. And it didn't. It didn't quite work for everybody. You know, Bray Herd's still not really up there. Flesh Eater Court,
BCR, which obviously needed a nerf, got it again.
You know, like Slaanesh. They got new rules, but it wasn't quite enough.
Didn't bring them completely up.
Yeah, I think with this new one, I think we're going to see a lot of that stuff. And if you don't see it, you know, like if maybe you don't see a whole lot for Slaanesh,
then maybe
in this one it might be for a reason.
Just mean something.
Yeah,
you know,
kind of stuff. So wouldn't read too deep into some of that stuff. But
I just hate Slaanesh. No, I don't think so.
Yeah. Okay, one thing that does bug the crap out of me, and I was hoping they would fix it, but from the faction focuses and stuff like that we've seen so far, it does not look like they have any plans to change it, is the sheer number of factions.
Yeah.
And the fact that there's factions that have like one or two units in them.
And they're mostly useless.
I don't like that. I'm tired of it. Like Firebellies being one.
Yeah. Roll
El Guzzler Gargants being a one War Scroll faction, the Shadow Blades or whatever. And their answer is like, well, you just ally them in. And it's like, that doesn't what if that just doesn't fit the aesthetic that I want for my army? Why is this one ogre different from all the other ogres?
ones.
It makes no sense, you know? And I can understand if you had a completely different vision for that when Age of Sigmar dropped, back when none of this stuff mattered because there was no points, there was no allies, there was none of that. You just put down whatever you want. The game doesn't work like that so much anymore. So just throwing the ally thing around is, I think that's a bit of a cop-out. Yeah. It would have been nice to see them erase some of the lines between these factions and, you know, like, why are my old school dwarves broken up into several different factions? And, you know, like the elf stuff is, I don't know. I don't like it. I really don't. Because you see Chaos doesn't have to follow those rules.
Yeah, they're getting all rolled up in like neat packages. And
I'm 6 different factions, but because I say Khorne, I get to play the same army. There's no allies. There's none of that stuff. It's like, well, why can't elves do that?
There's no downside to that.
You know? Or why can't dwarves do that? Dwarden. It makes no sense to me.
Yep.
So I'd say that's another thing that kind of really sticks in my craw.
Yeah.
About the origin of AOS kind of stuff.
Yep. The sad part is I can't think of much more.
Yeah, I really can. I mean, like, not that we want to try to go out of our ways to be negative here to find stuff to bitch about, but
it's just that it's so overwhelmingly good.
Yeah.
In so many, and I, you know, again, hate to be the fanboy thing, but really there are niggling things here and there. There are units that are either too good or that are too bad. But, you know, I mean, I don't care what game you play, you're going to see that.
Sure. So, and again, they could fix it with point adjustments every 6 months.
And those things are, you know, they're always in review. So those aren't really system problems.
Yeah, non-issues.
So, and I mean, you look at AOS 2.0, they're fixing the firing in and out of combat, which some people say didn't need to be fixed at all. Some people said was the biggest problem with the game.
Yeah.
So again, we get this whole, what is a problem to you might not be an issue to me at all. So again, I don't think the game system had that many glaring issues that needed to be fixed. And yet I look at this new edition and I'm like, oh, this is going to be, but there's not that much of a reason to change.
Yeah.
So this is just all good.
I can throw something out.
No.
Something I hope to see on the heels of 2.0. More Age of Sigmar terrain.
Yes.
Can we get some more terrain?
They're supposed to be coming. Well, in the battle report, there is some new terrain on the board that doesn't look, it looks like some of the new kits that are rumored to be out there, like those Azerite ruins.
Yeah.
But that actually have floors, you know, that are modular, like the Sector Imperialis for 40K. I think that's coming down the pike. So,
because I mean, that's kind of what we keep getting is like rubbled walls, you know, and it's like, I mean, it looks great on the table for sure, but I want something that's maybe a little more area terrain.
Yeah.
So I guess you could just put all that stuff on a big piece of something and call it
area.
Yeah. Whatever. But something to immerse the game a little more, because the 40K stuff is just getting so good.
It's over the top.
Yeah. The new Eldar Webway Gate.
Yeah.
Looks fantastic. All of this modular.
The whole Sector Imperial, Mechanicus.
Yeah.
Is just, I mean, and they keep coming out with new things for it. And you need something like that in the Sigmar range. Love to see some new woods instead of the woods we've been staring at for how many years now?
Here's an idea. You have the Sector Imperialis or whatever this terrain set is. It's all modular. And if you want to, I mean, you can basically cover a whole 6x4 table in it and play the sickest game of Necromunda you could ever come up with in it if you wanted. What about a Sigmarite style thing like that where it's all modular, different designs and stuff that it can all hook together, and it's just stuff that the armies of Azir set up as like forward bases. Yeah. You know, when Sigmarine or Stormcast Eternals show up, and then they kind of clear the road, and then all of a sudden the regular Azerite armies are right behind them to form that, to stabilize the beachhead. Yeah. It's just temporary stuff. You know, that way not everything is rubble.
Right.
You know, it doesn't look like we're constantly fighting over Berlin in 1945. Like,
can we have a citadel that isn't Khorne?
Yeah.
You know, that isn't completely covered with skulls? I mean, just mostly with hammers, maybe? That'd be fun.
I mean, that stuff looks cool, too, but...
It does. It's great.
I don't know.
I love the Dreadhold. But can we have something that isn't sharp and pointy and
yeah, I could do without points. I don't like... Yeah, nothing quite like stabbing yourself through the hand trying to put together terrain.
You know,
Makes
I've
feel-
been buying the printable scenery stuff on the Kickstarters and off their website just so that we can have stuff that doesn't look like corn for terrain.
Yeah.
You know, and
Or
I
just
still
ruins.
have to- yeah.
Everything is
Or just ruins. Yeah, I want buildings. Buildings
Yeah.
that look like people go in them occasionally.
like, oh, this new village is being, I mean, because you read about it in the books and everything, you know, these new villages and cities and everything being attacked. Why are we always getting there just a little too late?
So, GW, you listen to us for 2.0. Listen to us now.
Yeah.
Terrain.
Yeah.
And, one more thing, GW. I don't want to hit this too hard, but we haven't seen the check yet.
Yeah.
Royalties.
I
so-
I understand that shipping across the
it's
pond
fine.
can
It's
take a little while.
England and stuff, but we do have PayPal, so
Yeah.
you can hit us up on that.
Whatever it takes.
So let's leave AOS 1.0 behind,
Yep.
and let's talk about something that has been going through the Twitterverse and a lot of our chat groups,
Yeah.
and has got you and I on two sides of how to address it.
Yep.
So we kind of thought we would do the good cop, bad cop kind of thing on this, but let's set the stage.
Right.
Recently, there was announced the Warhammer Adventures comic book series, which, by the way, isn't coming out until next year. And it's a comic book series with younger protagonists in the Age of Sigmar world
And 40K.
and 40K, who are going to be dealing with the grim dark, but without all the grim and without all the dark, because this is aimed at the 8 to 14-year-old crowd.
Yeah.
And they probably don't need, I don't know, blood pools and vivisections and all that good stuff as part of their imagery at night. Now, some people have determined that this is fantastic and they can't wait to get their hands on it because they have kids.
Yep.
And they really want to expose them to this universe without all the blood and the gore and the stuff pouring out of everyone's eyes.
Yeah.
And then there's some people who don't agree with that. Maybe
Right.
dumbing down of the grim dark in their terminology.
Well, let's read off what sparked this.
Yeah.
Right. Because, I mean, when the announcement was made, if you went around to, like, some of the fan pages on Facebook and stuff, there was very mixed reactions, like we said. Very strong mixed reactions. But what really made us want to talk about this is one of the authors for these books put out a tweet, a series of tweets, talking about the response he's gotten. And this is Kevin Scott. One of the tweets that he put out was, in the last couple of weeks, I have had people try to post comments on my website saying they hope I get terminally ill. I am apparently a cyst on humanity's corpse. Why? Because I'm hired to write children's books for properties the commenters love.
Yeah.
Basically, people who disagree with this series of books, some of the people. Okay, I want to
Yeah, let's not.
try to not
lump
paint
anybody.
with a broad brush here. Some of the individuals who are not happy with this approach that Games Workshop is taking to try to get new blood into this game that we love have decided that the people who are a part of that should be attacked with absolute vitriol online. I think it's very easy to want to fire right back with vitriol. And I know that's what you want to do, Bill.
Yes.
Is to call these people out, say absolutely awful things about them.
In the only language that they understand.
Right.
Which is what they put out to others.
Sure. And I want to take a slightly different approach. I'm going to make an attempt to appeal to reason, right? I think we all love this game. We all love this setting.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're somebody who feels that passionate about the setting that you have to take to social media or whatever to attack a contributor to that setting.
A hired contributor. A person who is hired to do this.
Yeah. Obviously, you're passionate about it. Okay? Now, here's the deal. You are a fan of their world. They get to do whatever they want to do with the world, the product, everything.
Yeah.
Okay? They're the ones that dictate how this goes down. They're a business. They have to get new blood in. And I got kids. I got a 12-year-old, a 10-year-old, and a 2-year-old. Okay? I don't really want my 10-year-old reading about Fulgrim having orgies while they scroll their names on the sides of the boat and are plugging away at holes on corpses and everything. Makes great story for us and really explains what Slaanesh is all about. But I don't really need my 10-year-old reading about that stuff. Okay? But I really want my 10-year-old to get into this game because that's about the same age. Well, I was younger when I got into it, but I'd love to be able to play this stuff with him or my 12-year-old. Yeah. Okay? So if they can write books that appeal to that group of people, more power to them. That's right. And here's the deal. Here's the rub, right? You do not have to read said books. They don't affect you in any way. It's not like Games Workshop is going to kick down the door and duct tape you to the ground and read them to you. Okay? You can just keep scrolling.
Nor are they retconning anything to make it fit into this new kid-friendly universe. Yeah. So they're just taking out the parts that kids probably don't need to be exposed to.
And I'm sure there's responses of like, well, I let my kids watch this particular show or whatever. Cool.
Great.
They're a corporation. They have to hedge their bets and assume that everybody is going to follow a much more mild approach. And therefore they have to write that stuff according to that.
And doesn't it make sense to approach every audience you possibly can? I mean, would you limit yourself to one demographic? Would you limit yourself to 18 to 24-year-old males when you could actually get anywhere between 8 and 60-year-old males and females and have, tons more money coming in? Yeah, that's what I would do.
And furthermore, I would imagine these people who have to express themselves so angrily through the anonymity of the internet are probably the same kind of people that bitch that new generations don't read books. Mm-hmm. So wouldn't you be happy that they're making books that might be more appealing to a younger audience? And I would also, I don't know, take a wild stab that these are the same kind of people that really pride themselves on putting out edgy tweets and memes and everything. And then when somebody gets hurt, they say, why so offended? Yeah. I'm tired of everybody getting so offended. Congratulations, you just got butthurt on kids' books.
Yeah.
So maybe
your hypocrisy is showing.
I'm trying to be diplomatic about it.
I understand.
Because part of me does want to rant.
Yeah.
But I don't think it would get anywhere. I think if you're somebody, I get what it boils down to is if you don't want to read the damn books, don't read them. Move on.
Allow me to retort and discuss the shortcomings of people like this, but I think you hit it right on the head. These books and these issues are not going to affect anyone. No one's forcing anyone to read them. They're only going to be good for the community. And I think people do need to just approach it from that point of view and realize that these are only good things. These are things that are going to grow the hobby. These are things that are going to help in the long run. And really, just think about it. In the long run, you want more people in the hobby. You don't want less. And if this is an avenue to bring more folks in, then fantastic. If you don't think it's an avenue to bring more in, well, don't buy them, don't read them.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you, even some of the folks that might not like them might actually buy them for their 12-year-old nephew at Christmas, or whatever.
Right.
So it's a great introduction. Let it be that. Just let it be that. We don't need to belabor and to make other people feel bad about what they're doing.
Yeah.
Because they've been hired to do it and they're going to do their best at it. So I don't know. I personally am looking forward to these books.
Sure. I am as well.
Sharing them with my friends' kids so that I can infect them with this hobby and show them a little bit what I go through.
Yeah. I'll make one last plea to reason. Because I know some people who they might be like, well, this is going to be canon. And because one of the concerns is they're changing like the wording and stuff. Like, I don't think they're referring to them as chaos gods.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And like some of these kids don't use guns or there's little tweaks like that.
Sure.
And I would remind you, like, even if it is canon, Okay, which it will be. These are stories that will.
No,
take
this
place.
is why. I mean, they've even said it's watered down canon. It's going to be the stories,
Yeah,
but without all the violent overtones that we are used to.
right.
Doesn't need to be there.
I'll remind you that in 40K, it's a galaxy of millions of worlds.
Yeah.
So, and not even all the worlds in the Imperium all follow the same creed.
Yeah.
So for them to change some wording around is perfectly acceptable. And these are going to be stories through the eyes of kids.
Yeah.
So if they do see Space Marines, or whatever, like even just a Necron or an orc boy, like it's going to be terrifying.
Yeah.
And same thing for the Mortal Realms. Mortal Realms are near infinite. They run into a Sigmarite priest who does not pronounce it Sigmar.
Yeah.
She pronounces it differently.
Yeah.
Okay. So having minor changes to terminology and stuff like that is perfectly acceptable in these stories.
These huge realms.
Yeah.
That are boundless. I mean, literally boundless.
You're not going to lose any. They're not going to. I guarantee you that the Siege of Terra is going to be horrifically brutal, and lots of people are going to die.
Yeah, horrible deaths.
Yeah, and I can guarantee you that the stuff that Josh Reynolds and David Geimer and these other guys pump out for Age of Sigmar is going to be equally brutal and gruesome,
gritty and grimdark, and
you're not going to lose any of that stuff. No. It just means there's a little bit more for everyone else.
That's right. There's something now that everybody else can latch onto that might not enjoy all that like you do.
But for the handful of people that feel the internet is your avenue to directly attack creators and stuff, stop.
Stop that.
Stop. You make all of us look bad.
Yeah.
Okay? Just, if you feel the need to go after somebody and say that they deserve cancer or something awful like that because they created something you don't like, just stop.
Yeah.
And just don't consume it.
Yeah.
Move on.
Yes, and please understand that while your opinion may be your own, it may not be suitable for everyone else. So, but anyway, I think we should probably beat that one up. Yeah, so anyway, on the whole of it, we have a lot to look forward to. When we record next, we will cover a bunch more stuff because they're drip feeding us.
Yeah.
They put us on this little IV and said, "Here you go, boys. Here you go. Here's your candy."
Drip. Yeah, we didn't even really touch on diminishing returns on this announcement.
I know. We'll do that next time.
Yeah.
But I think next time it'll be a good time to talk about that because it'll be way close to release, and we'll talk about whether or not this approach was perfect.
Yeah.
Or whether it did exactly what they wanted it to do because it got everybody talking.
That is true.
There's a lot of buzz, and,
buzz.
Like they said, no press is bad press, so... But with that, I will be taking a picture of that big glass, and you can take your guess for a chance at a free GW booklet. Again, you have to redeem it at a GW store. So, keep that in mind. And we will see you...
in a week.
Okay.
Ugh.
We're trying to get back on schedule here.
Yep.
Because, I was in Disney World for a week, and then I was sick for a week, so we got pushed way back.
And it's all about you.
It is. The world does revolve.
Resolve.
And I haven't even taken NyQuil today, so I should be all right.
Right, well.
Yeah. Anyway.
Bye!
Thank you.
If you would like to get a hold of us, you can reach us at our email address, which is rollingbadpodcast@gmail.com. We have a Twitter account for the podcast, and it is @rolling_bad. We also have a Facebook page, so just search Facebook for Rolling Bad. We have a Patreon page, and that is at www.patreon.com/rollingbadpodcast, all one word. You can reach us at our individual Twitter accounts. Elric is at Elric Edge, and I am at Bill Costello, Castello. All of our guest hosts and any other products or places that we mentioned during the show will have their addresses listed in the show notes.
Not like take the edge off or whatever, because the edge was on. Because leggings only look right if you don't wear underwear underneath them as well, Because otherwise you see the underwear.
That's right.
And then that's all you can see. So you kind of got to free ball it. There's the three of us We're swinging low in brand new
Brand new
leggings.
40K leggings. Wow, we would definitely win Team Spirit Award for sure.
You know, I'd be power stancing on all of my games.
You'd have to.
You know,
You'd have to. We would probably get kicked out. We would probably be disturbing the peace.
we could post pictures of us and then put blur or black lines, you know, on all. God.
Okay, enough of that.
Yeah. Sweet
Wow.
imagery.
Yeah.
That's a shout out for everybody that saw me at Acon. Just, you know, put that mental image in your head.
Elric and leggings.
Yep. Skin tight leggings. Really snug. Oh, Bill.
Thank God for hormones.
Oh, wait
Or
a
new
second.
editions or something.
Yeah, this is going in a weird direction. She should already be developed.
Yeah, that's
if
right.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Now we're on a
She's
list.
only 3.
Oh, my God.
This is why we don't do live shows.
Yep.
That's going in the blooper reel.
For those who want to know, this is why we don't do live shows. This is mild.
Okay. Anyway.